Thank you very much for joining us here on Spotlight New Jersey. I'm Della Cruz. I had the pleasure of interviewing talk show host Wendy Williams at Kean University. She has a new book out called Ask Wendy. This native of Asbury Park was the keynote speaker for the 4th annual celebration of Womanhood. This conference is hosted by the United Way of Greater Union County for girls ages 13 to 17.
My book it's my 6th book, but it's probably my favorite book to write, even over my autobiography, because it was a book written by you, Wendy Watchers. I got letters from Wendy Watchers all across the country, and I said, send me your toughest questions. And I knew that with this book, I wanted to divide it into sections that would make it easy to read, because I love to read, I'm a reader. But most importantly, my favorite style of book has always been a self-help book. Not because I listen to what the author has to say, but because I like to have a few different opinions on a problem that I'm going through and then formulate my own. Because it's always been my belief that the answer to our problems we can figure out ourselves if we would just give ourselves a chance to embrace the smarts that we all have.
We are joined by 3 young leaders with the United Way of Greater Union County who attended that conference for the celebration of womanhood. Brianna Durham, Esther Waogugu, and Jasmine Brown. And ladies, it's good to have all of you here today.
It's good to be here.
I had a blast at that conference. You all put the whole thing together, correct?
Yes.
What went into the planning? Tell me about that, how it worked.
It was a lot. At first we had a couple icebreakers to try to get to know each other and whatnot. And it was really good. Pretty much trying to figure out each other was one of the biggest things, because we all come from different places and we all have different struggles, and we wanted to see what we had in common and what we can help other women and other young ladies with, because growing up today as young women is a little difficult.
It is a little difficult. Let's talk about those struggles. What did you have in common when it comes to those, especially for your age group?
When we came together, we all realized that we were chosen from schools, and some people came from foster homes, and getting to talk and getting to know each other. A lot of girls were saying that they weren't used to working with girls, or they thought they couldn't, or we couldn't work together. And seeing it all come together and get along through the whole thing, we all gained friends, we gained mentors, people we could call, people reached out to us. It was just a great experience. I never thought I could work with girls so closely and get along for that long.
See, now, I find that interesting when you say that. I never thought I could work with girls for that long. But you found out, what, you all have a lot more in common than you realized.
Yes.
Now, what about you, Esther?
Well, we started with an activity that we had to hold a yarn. All the girls had to hold a yarn together, and we had to draw from different pieces to see how strong a bond is when everyone is working together. And then they made us drop the yarns one by one. And while we started to drop it, we saw how everything started to destroy.
What?
So we had to see how we had to work together in order for things to work.
Had you all ever engaged in an exercise like that before?
Never.
No.
What was that like?
It was, you get to see how important your part is. We often look at it as a whole, but individually we each had a part. And that was our way of learning that you have a part, you have to stick to your part. And with the string, it really helped us to understand that we are strong united. Individually, we are strong. When we come together, we can do amazing things. We can move mountains, and that's what we showed that we did. This event was like our baby. We built it from the ground up, and to see it and to see how it influenced girls, it just brought us back like, wow, we did this. We impacted lives, and it's an amazing feeling.
Have you all ever had an opportunity to build something up like that from the ground up?
Never had experience like this. It was great, and to see it after all those Saturdays of waking up early in the morning and coming together like 7 in the morning. I really don't remember the time, but every Saturday, different Saturdays out of the month, getting up to be together that early in the morning. We didn't see it. We didn't think we had enough time. Even Wendy Williams coming, it was a surprise. We didn't know who the celebrity guest was going to be.
Oh, you didn't?
We just had wishes.
No.
We were saying people's names, and for her to come through, even Kim Cole too. That experience, just seeing it from that first Saturday until the last day of the event, it was like we really, all our ideas, they allowed us to have our own ideas. Everything we said, it came into play. The decorations, we had a choice, we had a part in everything. They allowed us to run the whole conference, and it was really a nice experience.
That must have been so empowering to be in charge for a change.
Finally.
What did you learn from the other girls? You said you all came from different situations, circumstances, and you bonded. What would you say you learned? And did you make friends?
I learned how to be more understanding, because in Linden, we are all different, but we are pretty much all the same. We all have the same household and stuff. But coming from girls from different areas, a lot of them did come from foster homes or broken homes, and their struggle was totally different from ours. And to hear that, you become more appreciative of what you have, but then you also realize that we can be different, but we can still be friends. And even though we came from different places and different situations, a lot of things we had in common. And I made friendships that I hope that I'll keep throughout my life, because they're wonderful people. They taught me things that I never thought I could learn. And I think that I taught them things as well.
See, and I want to explore that even more. So our chat continues on Spotlight New Jersey next.
If you're 17 years old, you are really at that hot spot where if you don't know how to start to solve some of your own problems, you need to learn quickly. And you can't rely on your friends, because friends are great until they're not. And you've got to recognize the signs for when they're not, so you can leave them over there and continue on with your life. And if you are a 15-year-old girl and you're trying to solve a problem, going to one of your 15-year-old girlfriends is like talking to yourself. What you need to do is you need to hopefully have that wiser aunt in your life, or your own mother, or somebody in your life that you call family, because we can fight with friends and leave them on the side, but family is with us forever.
Family is with us forever. Talk show host Wendy Williams speaking at Kane University. 3 young ladies who attended that Celebration of Womanhood conference are right here in our studios today. Brianna, Esther, and Jasmine. What do you all feel about what she said about fair-weathered friends?
It was very true. I felt that when we were standing there and they were asking us, do we want to ask questions, a lot of the questions from the girls were about friends and depending on people and making it. And the whole time she was just letting us know that you can depend on people, but you gotta want it yourself. And that's how she was saying how she got where she is, by wanting it herself and doing things for herself. And she saw through the long run that her friends weren't going to be there for her. And I really related, and being able to, I stood up myself and asked her questions. And hearing her answer, and she's so outspoken, but everything that she said made sense, even if I didn't want to listen to it.
Do you find that to be the case in your own situation with friends?
Yes, friends aren't always gonna be there, but family is there. But you can have good friends too.
Do you find sometimes you give more as a friend than your friend gives back to you?
A lot of times.
Yes, it happens.
Some people just use you at the same time. Like, you would give them all and you will not get in return.
And when you need
And
something,
that's why you have to choose wisely.
Sometimes we have to understand that our friends are going through the same struggles as us. So talking to your friend is, like she said, is talking to myself. It's like I'm looking in the mirror, because you're going to tell me what I want to hear, not necessarily the truth. When I go to mom or dad, they're like, no, this is wrong. And I'm like, well, my friend said it's not. Just like, well, she's 17 too. She don't know no better. So.
and you see that for yourselves, right?
Right.
Mom and dad have lived a life, so therefore they have something to back up what they're saying. Yes. How much do you all rely, Brianna, even though her birth name, according to mom, is Brianna, how much do you rely on your mom now? Because you're at that age, like you said, where you want to be independent, but still you want to have that support at home. Do you rely on your mom a lot?
I do. I rely on both my parents, my mom and my dad. I feel like they're very influential. And so far in my 17 years, they've never steered me wrong. And when I sit back and I think of all the things, well, I want to do this way, and they'll say, well, I think you should do it that way. And even though my friends agree with me, when I do it with my parents' way, I see the impact that it has. And like they always tell me, I didn't come here, I wasn't born yesterday, you know.
But y'all hate that line too.
I wasn't born yesterday. I was 17 once before.
And we were.
Yeah, I know, Mom, but your 17 and my 17 are different. What happened in the 1400s is different from now.
Excuse me, did she just say, oh no, she did not just say 1400.
So I'm like, Mom, it's 2013, but it's still the same. It's still the same thing. But today with technology and everything, we definitely have to be more careful of what we put. And our friends they're doing the same things that we're doing. So a lot of times you just talk to somebody who's older. Maybe it's not a parent, maybe it's an aunt, an uncle, an older cousin, or there are a lot of other people who you can talk to. But talking to somebody that's going through the same thing that you're going through, that's at the same point of view, they can't really give you any knowledge on the situation because they're learning too.
Exactly.
We're walking through the things together.
They say youth is wasted on the young, and it's true. You got to live and learn. Go ahead, Esther. You had a thought.
Well, I have 3 sisters, and they're pretty much older. And the fact that they're one of them is 26, which is the oldest, she always comes back to the fact that she says, "Mom is always right." And if you think about it, the parents are always right.
But see, the sister has lived and learned.
Yes, and she always comes back to the fact and say, "Yes, Mom is always right." And if you look at it, your mom, they will tell you something, and then you go and do what you want to do, and then you come back to it and you're like, "Wow, Mom was right. I should have listened to what Mom said, or I should listen to what Dad said," because they've walked through that lane. So we have to follow the path. If it's a good path, we follow through their path.
And Jasmine, you agree? You have to listen. Yeah.
I agree. And just like with them saying, friends, even if you don't have, like we learned in the conference and on Saturdays with the girls, even if you don't have family to go to, because a lot of them were in foster care, we met so many great women every Saturday. We met a different woman giving a speech, telling about their life, where they made it at. And that's one thing that we wanted to do in the conference before the surprise celebrity. We wanted to meet somebody that could impact everybody, not just our race, not just this type of girl, every girl. That was our one thing that we kept saying. We wanted to meet a celebrity or meet someone that could impact all of us. And Wendy and Kim Cole, when they came, and every Saturday, all the speakers and all the people in charge of the workshops, they all related to us in a different way with a different story. And every struggle that they went through, they made it out. And it was such a great experience. So we met so many, the girls that weren't there that don't have parents that they can't go to and don't have older cousins, we met so many great women. They gave us our numbers, they humbled themselves, emails to reach out to them for colleges. It was such a great experience. The whole workshop, I met so many people. If I didn't have family to be there for me, and it was a great experience. Even Wendy Williams, she humbled herself to speak to me or to hug me or take a picture with me. It was such a shock. It was such everybody, everyone that we've been meeting. This whole experience has been great.
The one thing I've learned is people say they may put you on a pedestal, but they will knock you down if you act like you belong there. So you all just remember that. We have more right after the break. Stay with us.
You're one of the first generations that's not going to be able to move ahead in life because of this kind of mess that you put on your Facebook and Instagram. And I'm just going to shoot straight from the hip. The majority of you in here, I bet, have put some really unsavory stuff online and out there, and you will never be able to dial back and take it off. And then you'll come to somebody like me and you'll want a job. And then I will, because I know how to double back and look. We all do. We might be a little bit older, but we learn how to do it too. Go back and I'm gonna look at your Instagram, I'm gonna be like, oh really? I don't care that it was when you were 13 years old. What were you thinking? No. You can't work here. I can't have this. So you have to watch what you do, and you have to watch what you do with these boys, and you have to watch what these boys talk you into doing.
3 young leaders with the United Way all listened to Wendy Williams speak that day. They're sitting with me right now, Brianna, Esther, and Jasmine. She is absolutely right. We didn't have social media back in the 1400s. But do you all realize the impact of that? That's evidence number 1 for crimes, which a lot of kids don't realize with these bullying incidents they put on. And also, that can come back to haunt you when you want to get into the workplace.
I learned that, and
you did?
I did, and nobody's perfect, but I remember my mom one time coming to me and she was like, whatever you put on the internet, you should be able to go back and tell me what you said, or go back and tell grandma. You call grandma and tell her you put that on Instagram, or you take that picture and show it to grandma. Can you show it to grandma? I'm like, I can't show that to grandma. And she was like, well, then you shouldn't be on the internet then. And that's what I live by. If I'm embarrassed or ashamed to take it to my mom or my grandma, who I love dearly, then it shouldn't be on there. And it never goes away. Once you put it on the internet, it never goes away. And I feel like young kids don't understand that today. You don't have to put half-naked pictures up. You are beautiful the way you are. You don't need to expose yourself, and don't listen to other people, because if you're trying to go forward, you can't be frightened to listen to people who are just trying to stay where they are. And today with social media, you definitely have to be careful about what you put, because it never goes away.
And so many kids are using it to bully other kids and say things they might not say face to face.
Yes.
Why do you have that kind of courage online but not in person?
Exactly.
Does that bother you?
You're not seeing the person. That's why you have so much power to type. You're not even talking, you're typing. So you feel like, oh wow, they're not in front of me, I can say whatever. But when it's time for confrontation, you can't open your mouth. Your mouth doesn't move. So why do you have the guts to type it if you can't say it?
And those words live on.
Yes.
You may delete them, but they live on somewhere in the media, believe me. You had a thought too, go ahead, Jasmine.
Yeah, I just feel that with all the social networks, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. That's what Wendy was trying to say. It doesn't have to be a negative thing, but you have to be very careful with and to hear her say that, like to relate it to herself, that if you came to me for a job and I seen this, it is true. People don't want to be real and people forgive, but people really don't forgive. In the world, your family forgives, but when people see things and you've done things, it's hard to move back from it. That's why you have to be very careful. So to hear her say that and to hear her opinion about if I wanted to come to her for a job and I was that way, she was so real the whole time she was there. Every question, every answer, it was so real, and that's reality, that you have to be very careful with everything that you do now.
As Chef Paula Dean is finding out, although it seems like the other actor, Alec Baldwin, ought to be paying the same price because of his little rants on Twitter too. Now, what about this whole thing with sexting? And you roll your eyes. I cannot believe these young girls want to put that out there. That's one thing between a husband and a wife maybe, but excuse me?
Today, and I feel like it all boils down to you have to look at your inner beauty. And a lot of these girls think that they're nothing but their body, but you are so much more. You are brains. You have so many things going for you. I don't understand why you feel that the only thing that you have is your body. Your body is a temple, and you should protect it. And it's not for everybody to see. These little boys, they say that they love you, but they don't love you. And as soon as you send it to them and they get upset, they're gonna send it right off. Like I had a friend who did that, and she sent her picture to her boyfriend. She thought, well, he loves me, he's never gonna do it. And they broke up, and less than 2 weeks later, it went through everybody. And I mean, to the point where we had to go to the office and hand in our phones, and the school went through our phones to make sure we didn't have the picture, and we didn't send out the pictures. It was a huge thing, and I try to tell people, just because you love them today, they're not going to be here tomorrow.
And that love they speak of, be very
It's not
careful,
love.
okay? Yeah, exactly. Spotlight New Jersey continues straight ahead.
The majority of adults in this room right now have done everything that you all, well, a lot of everything that you I mean, some of you all I know, they said have been to jail. Okay, well, I haven't been to jail, but I've shoplifted. I shoplifted at Kmart when I was 13 years old, and that taught me never to shoplift again. My parents decided to, and I did not know this, they hired a real lawyer, and the instructions were to put the screws to me behind the scenes so that I really feel full weight of justice. I had to turn in my report card. I mean, the cops showed up with the sirens. They put me in the handcuffs and walked me to the back room. And I know that might sound like willy-nilly mess to some of you all in here, you hardcore chicks, you know? But let me tell you something. I don't have to step in mud to know it's gonna ruin my shoes. And I don't have to touch the stove to know that I'm gonna burn my hand. So it is not too late in your young lives to turn the majority of the stuff that you've done around. It is not too late.
Wendy Williams speaking at Kane University. Some powerful words. Ladies, final thoughts?
I just want to thank Wendy Williams for being so real through the whole conference, and for even coming to be, she didn't have to come down to be with us, even Kim Cole, for her gifts presentation to us, and the gifts, everything that she gave to us, everything to her, humbling herself to tell us her story. It was such a great experience. Every Saturday, I want to thank United Way and Miss Leah, everybody, even to the chance to be here today to speak about it was such a great experience. And I never thought I would be able to experience something like that with women, and such great women, and meet such great girls. But I really appreciate it, everything.
Great words, Jasmine. What about you, Esther?
I just want to make everyone know, like, you hold your own destiny. So if you mess up your own life, then you mess up your own life. Don't blame anybody else for anything that happens in your life. And I just want to say thank you for being able to attend the show that day. And I want to thank Wendy Williams and Kim Cole. And these are things that I will never forget in my life.
People don't realize how beautiful Kim Coles is too, and how down to earth she is too in person. What about you too, Brianna?
I want to thank Wendy and Kim Cole for being so humble and talking to us and just speaking to us, and also everybody who helped us throughout the workshops. And one of the workshops was the mirror workshop, was to look in the mirror and to say things about yourselves, and to hear these girls call themselves beautiful, intelligent, inspiring it's an amazing feeling. And I just hope they take that and they run with it, and they understand that the sky is the limit, that you can do anything that you want to do. And regardless of your past, because we all have a past, but our past shapes our future. And you take the lessons that you learn and you apply it to what you want to do, and you will do anything that you want to do. And I just hope everybody, boys included, that they understand that you can be whatever you want to be, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't, because believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself, respect yourself, go out and remember your only job in the world is to be yourself.
Yes.
Right, and nobody can stop you from doing what you set your mind to do. Ladies, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Jasmine, Esther, and Brianna. I really appreciate it. It's been great. And if you'd like to find out more about the United Way of Greater Union County, log on to my Facebook page, Twitter, or news12.com. I'm Della Cruz. New Jersey, the spotlight is on you and all these beautiful young ladies.